Happy New Year, everybody. So, um, I'm going to do a most anticipated um video for 2025. Now, keep in mind, these aren't in any particular order. These are just the films that I'm most looking forward to coming out this year. Now, quick disclaimer, um, I obviously do not have all of the films on here, because obviously the year has just started and I only know of certain titles. And there's most definitely going to be titles that are going to be announced halfway through the year, and then I'm going to find out about them and be super excited for them. This is just what I'm aware of right now. And there's a lot of films that I'm also aware of that I know a lot of people are anticipating that aren't on this list, which that's just my take. These are just my most anticipated. But yeah, like I said, just what I know of right now. Um, there's definitely going to be others that are going to be announced throughout the year that I'm going to immediately land on my most anticipated. This is just what I'm aware of right now. We got Presence. So Presence is a movie that this is going to be probably the first movie on my most anticipated list I'm going to be able to see. I'm really excited for this movie because, I love Neon, and the marketing for this movie is being marketed just like Longlegs. And as you know, I absolutely adored that movie, and I'm super excited to see what this movie has. Luckily, it just comes out in a few weeks, so I don't have much longer to wait. So there's one. Next one is Shelby Oaks. Now, this is obviously Chris Stuckman's feature film debut that I've been looking forward to ever since he announced it back in 2021. And it got announced that this film is going to also be a Neon production. So, super excited about that. Um, so can't wait. And it's found footage, and I like found footage, and it'll be interesting to see found footage in the theater again, since I haven't seen found footage in the movie theater since 2023. So this will be interesting. So can't wait for that. 28 years later, obviously, had to put that on there. Now, I'm not the biggest zombie fan by any means, but I do really enjoy the 28 Days um, films. I think they're definitely some of the better zombie films that we have out there for sure. And I'm really excited to see what this film is going to have to offer. The trailer looks really cool. And I can't wait for it. Next one is Return to Silent Hill. Now, I am a big fan of the Silent Hill video games. I think they are really great, classic horror video games. And I'm going to be completely honest, I love the first Silent Hill movie so much. I honestly like it better than the video games. That's going to be a hot take, but whatever. So, I like the Silent Hill film better than all the games, honestly. Silent Hill Revelation can go away. We don't need that piece of shit in our life. But the first Silent Hill movie is fantastic in my opinion. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get some backlash for that from a lot of people who are in the frame that video game adaptations are terrible, which I will agree. Most of them are, but I love the Silent Hill movie more than the games. That's just me. But this movie is from the same director as that first film, and I cannot wait to see what it's going to be. It's going to be an adaptation of the second game, both story wise and I think demon wise as well. So I'm super excited to see what they're going to do with this film. Next one is The Conjuring: The Last Rites. Now, this one could very well suck. This is one of the films on my list that could very easily suck. Um, I'm a big supporter of the Conjuring universe, because, which is funny because the Conjuring elevated horror when it first came out, and now whenever people hear about Conjuring movies, they're just like, "Oh, that's generic bullshit." Which I will admit, a lot of the later Conjuring films have been super generic and not really anything special, but I still enjoy them for the most part. Like now, this one is from the same director as Curse of La Llorona, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and The Nun 2, which I didn't care for Curse of La Llorona. But I enjoyed The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and The Nun too. I'm gonna be honest. I really wish they brought James Wan back since the first two Conjuring films are the only ones that he directed in the whole Conjuring verse, and those are definitely the two best ones. This one, I'm hoping that it'll be really good and will cap off the original Conjuring thing, like the original Conjuring series, not counting the spin-offs like Annabelle, Nun, or whatever, because we all know they're just going to make more spin-offs based on different demons and continue these spin-offs with the Nun, stuff like that. But I hope that supposedly this is the last film in the official Conjuring series, not the Conjuring universe, just the official movies with the Conjuring label. And I'm hoping they go out with a bang and not with a whimper, but we'll see what happens. Next up is Saw 11. Now, I'm a big fan of the Saw franchise. It is most generally a mixed bag for me because I have like some Saw films that I love, some Saw films I think that are just okay, and some that I hate. But I really enjoyed Saw 10. I thought that was really good. And I'm really excited to see where Saw 11 is going to head in the storyline. And I'm really excited to see what kind of traps and what kind of gore Saw 11 is going to have to offer. So excited for that. Next up is The Black Phone 2. Now, this one I think is going to be the biggest hit or miss on the entire list for the entire year because I really like the Black Phone. I liked the Black Phone a lot when I first saw it. I think it is a really well crafted film from the director of Sinister, which I absolutely love, obviously. But it's really well crafted and has a really good storyline. But I'm curious as to where they're going to go with this because judging by the Black Phone ending, I don't really know how they're going to continue that, or if they're going to maybe like reveal, oh, this is going to be a prequel, which I doubt it. But I'm going to be very curious on to how they're going to continue this because from what I read, it's going to be a continuation and not a prequel. But I'm really curious as to where they're going to go with this because, like I said, the first Black Phone ended on something where it's going to be very hard to continue that. Now, I'm very curious. This film is definitely going to be hit or miss, probably the most hit or miss throughout the entire year. It'll either be great or it might suck. So, um, definitely looking forward to seeing what this is going to have to offer. Next up is Insidious Chapter 6. Now, this is another one on the list that could very easily suck. I'm a big Insidious fan, just like with the Conjuring franchise. I don't enjoy the Insidious movies as much as the Conjuring franchise. Like, when it comes to the Insidious movies, the ones that I love are the first one and the third one. The other ones I think are just okay. But I mean, there's some enjoyment in them, even though the other ones are just okay. But I do love the first one and the third one. I'm really curious as to where they're going to go with this because with the Red Door, I didn't know what they were going to do with it, and I thought it was interesting when they brought back um the the family from the first one. I forget their last name, so I apologize. But I thought that was interesting at first, but when I saw the movie, I was like, it's okay. So I don't know where they're going to go with this, if it's going to be a completely new story. Are they going to continue up from an older story? Or what? But either way, this could either be great or this could suck. Or it might just be another okay Insidious movie, which I think is probably what it's most likely going to be. But nonetheless, I'm still excited for it. Next up, another video game adaptation, Until Dawn. Until Dawn, I think, is a great game. And this is another one where, once again, this one could very easily suck because, video game adaptations, but that's not why, I think. I think the reason why this could very well suck is because Until Dawn just seems like a really hard thing to adapt into a movie, just judging by how many decisions there are to make in that game. I think it's going to be a very tough thing to adapt into a movie, and I am curious. I am very curious as to what they're going to do with this, because my guess is they're most likely just going to cram a bunch of the decisions into one film, which I'm going to be bummed out if that's the case. But I have high hopes that this might actually be another really good video game adaptation because the director is the director of Lights Out and Annabelle Creation. Lights Out is a solid horror film, and Annabelle Creation I love. So I have high hopes that this is going to be a good one, but once again, it could very easily suck just based on the reasons stated. But going optimistic. Next up is Companion. This is another one that is very early on in the year. It's this month, at the end of this month. This one, um, they're keeping the plot very vague. It's supposed to be a science fiction horror romance, according to IMDb. But it's from the producer of Barbarian, which I absolutely love. It has Sophie Thatcher in it from Yellow Jackets, Heretic, The Boogeyman, and Maxine. And I love her as an actress. Very pretty girl. She's awesome. And I'm super excited to see what this movie's going to have to bring since the trailer is very vague on plot, which I really like, just like what they did with Barbarian, being very vague on plot. So I'm super excited to see what they're going to do with this and what kind of bizarre directions they're going to go into, because if it's from the producer of Barbarian, you know it's going to go into some twisted route. So I'm extremely excited for that. Next up is Predator Badlands. Now, this one I was debating back and forth to put on anticipated because I'm not the biggest Predator fan. I mean, it's enjoyable enough, but as far as this goes, I think I'm interested to say the least. The Predator is a cool character. And I am interested to see where they're going to take this, and hopefully it's entertaining. But this comes out very, very later on in the year, so yeah, I was debating on if I should leave this off or not, but I thought I'd give it a mention. Um, Now we got Fear Street Prom Queen. I really enjoyed the Fear Street trilogy when it came out back in 2021. Uh, the first one was solid fun. The second one I enjoyed a bit more, and the third one I liked the most. So very enjoyable film trilogy, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with it. Definitely going to rewatch those. I don't know what this one's going to be at all. Not revealed with anything, but I'm curious, so I put it on here. Next up is VHS 8. They keep making these movies. They keep making the VHS films, which I do love them, and I am super excited for this film. Now, VHS 8, this is most likely not the official title for the film because VHS Beyond didn't get a title until later last year. So, definitely title subject to change. But the eighth film in the VHS franchise, love the first two, despise Viral. Um, love 94, love 99. Didn't like 85 all that much, and I really, really enjoyed Beyond. So super excited for VHS 8 or whatever it's going to be called. Um, and next up is Sinners. So Sinners is a film that um, the plot is once again being kept very vague. The trailer looks interesting enough, and from what people said, it's going to be vampires. I'm not the biggest vampire fan, but I love Nosferatu, and I'm going to go in optimistic with vampires, as always, like I do. So I'm curious with this one, Sinners. This one, I'm going to give this one just a very short mention since I'm seeing this film in just a couple of days, and that is The Damned, because this is a very anticipated film for me. It's folk horror, and I think it looks great from the trailer. But the reason why I'm only giving it a mention and not including it in the actual list is because I'm seeing it in like a couple of days, so it's going to feel a little weird. It feels weird just mentioning it, but I thought I might as well give it a mention, so definitely excited to see that movie in just a couple of days. So, I know I said this list wasn't in any order, but I decided to leave my most anticipated film of the year for the last anyway, and thankfully for me, it comes out pretty early in the year. And that is, of course, The Monkey, another Neon film. And this one is directed by Osgood Perkins, who we know and love for Longlegs and The Black Cook's Daughter, Gretel and Hansel. Super excited for this film. I love Osgood's work. I absolutely adored Longlegs, and just so happened to be my favorite film of last year. Really loved it. It's so creepy, so unnerving, and the trailers for The Monkey look really great. I'm super excited to see what it's going to be. Looks really interesting, and looks like it's going to be a really great time. And I'm really hoping that this will also make it into my top of the year, like with what Longlegs did. So The Monkey is going to remain my most anticipated of the year, and it's a good thing that it comes out pretty early on in February. So super excited for that. So that's going to do it with my most anticipated of the year. Now, like I said, there's going to be multiple titles that are going to come out later in the year that I had no idea about, and I'm going to most likely most anticipate a lot of them. But this is just what I know of so far. So And there's a lot of films like Final Destination Bloodlines. I know a lot of people are looking forward to, but I'm not the biggest Final Destination fan, so I didn't mention it. But let me know what your most anticipated films for this year are. Um, Super excited to see what this year's gonna have for horror. Last year was amazing for horror cinema. Can't wait. So let me know what your most anticipated in the comments are of the year. And as always, subscribe to me to see more horror and thriller reviews.